when I look at the bank statement, I just want to make sure that you understand this bank statement that they send me here is for my check account. What's another name for my check account? My current account. Okay? So just be aware of those two words. So this is my check account. I would get a different bank statement for my credit card account, because my credit card works on a totally different principle. This is about my check account where I put my money in, I deposit my money, and I pay from it. This is where all my transactions, my daily operations go through. Okay, so in here, very important, a bank statement works minus plus. So the debit side would be all the payments, and the credit side would be all the deposits. So just make sure about that. Second thing, I just want to put a light. Okay. So can you see here? When they talk about my balance and they say here it's credit. Can you see they say it's credit? Credit is positive. So what they are actually telling me is that this balance is favorable. Okay. If they had a minus, it would have been unfavorable. If it's favorable, we say it's current. If it's unfavorable, we say it's a what? Starts with the O? A overdraft. You see? Do you get that? Okay. So now, what they want me to see here is, first of all, I know debits is minuses, credits is pluses. So, in other words, remember this is now how the bank keeps track of the transactions my business have with the bank, my cash transactions. So, this debit will be correlating with the transactions in my CPJ. So this is CPJ transactions, right? Whereas the credits would go with the CRJ. So, in the CPJ, in other words, what is my methods of payment? I told you yesterday already. We pay with an EFT, we pay with a debit order, or we pay with a stop order. Go read your theory on that. A debit order and a stop order are both instructions to the bank to take money from my account, pay it over to someone else's account. Right. The only difference is, with a stop order, the owner of this bank account is the only one who can change the stop order, make it more or less or stop it. The debit order, there's a third party that's got the authority to change the amount. Okay, so for instance, if I have a debit order for my water and electricity at the municipality, they will change the amount that I owe monthly. How will I check that they are not crooking me? How can I check that they didn't somewhere randomly change the amount? I look on the bank statement, how much went off, and what else do I get from the municipality? A water and electricity statement. So I can literally go see what is my expense, and I can go check on my bank statement if that is the amount that went off. Okay. can you see this is also then an instrument for what we call in accounting internal control. I can control that everything's above board. Okay. So this is a proof document. So now if I look at this, I see this is a plus, nee? And you're welcome just to help yourself to put a little plus there in the front. Okay. Now, can you see there's a deposit? It's a plus. So this works like the ledgers, nee? The debtors and creditors ledger. I'm going to say balance plus equals. Nee? So what do I get?
16227.
And can you see it's still a plus? It's still favorable. But now I see, oh, there's an interest. But can you see the interest is on the minus side?
Yes.
Okay? So 16 less 115 gives me
16112.
Now, if I were to give you a bank statement like this and I ask you, please go and do the journals. In which journal would you put this interest?
CPG.
CPJ. And what would you call that interest? Interest on overdraft. And what would be your name that you would put in the details right at the start? What is the name of the bank? Where will I find the name of the bank? Right at the top. Can you see? There it is. Okay. So then you would say ABC Bank 115 Sundry 115 interest on overdraft. Okay. I want you to see. Can you see here? If I asked you to do this in the journals, in which journal would you put this transaction?
CPJ.
CPJ. What would be your first detail? The name of the person I pay. Look, it says there.
Insurance company.
Also, no, I don't like if you talk when I teach. Also, insurance company. Now, can you see? They tell you it's insurance.
Yes.
So, bank is 220, sundry 220, insurance.
Yes.
If they wanted anything else, like for instance, if they wanted you to know that maybe the owner's insurance was paid, they would have given you an extra note here at the bottom saying, note, the insurance debit order was for the owner's personal insurance premium. Then you won't write insurance, you would write drawings. Okay, can you see? There's no figures going on because we were just revising. But I need to show you things and I need you to be quiet and to listen. Can you see that direct deposit? It would be a plus, right? The service fee, and I'm going to highlight them in different colors. The service fee, the credit card levy, and again, the service fee. Ne? They are all negatives, ne?
Yes.
But those ones, I will not write the words credit card levy. What am I going to write? What is the magic word for things like service fees, credit card levies, deposit fees? Yes, well done. Bank charges, I'm going to add them together and say it's bank charges. And this is a lacquer one to test your principles with. Do I ever add insurance to bank charges? Never. Never. Insurance and bank charges are always separate. Okay. And somewhere, if I were to set up the test, which I'm not, but if I were to set up the test, I will test if you know to put interest and bank charges separately. And bank charges is the addition of all the little fees that I pay the bank for what they do for me. Remember, they are a service business. Okay. So, now let's go on. VN Motors, can you see it's a stop order? So stop order is also a minus. Zoom Books, I have no idea. Can you see they don't tell me what's going on here? If there were additional information, they would have said something like either Zoom Books made a direct deposit for the rent, then it would be a plus. Or they will say, we paid with EFT Zoom Books for stock, then it would be a minus. Can you see here? They give it like this. Here they say credit, direct deposit. But here they say credit, Zulu. So maybe it wasn't a direct deposit. Maybe it was someone who came to us to give the money, or maybe that person has got a debit order. We don't know. But this is also a direct deposit. It doesn't matter how this guy pays. If I see his name, it means he paid it directly in my bank.